Welcome to the Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. I forgot to add us back on when I took us away before. Womp
But we're back
womp.
on. We're back on
Boom.
now.
Yes, we are. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope everyone's
Chillin',
good.
chillin'. What's up, dipshits? Chillin',
I don't
chillin'.
think my thing is loud enough. I can barely hear you. It's not you.
You
It's
kidding
me.
me? It's you. It's
It's
not.
it's
Are you breaking up with me, Mike?
no.
Are you breaking up with me?
Why does your camera look so? My camera looks bad. It doesn't look bad on my end. What the?
You sort
No.
of look a little fuzzy, but I don't think
What?
it looks that. I mean,
What's going on?
are you using a different camera output?
No, I'm not. Weird. Hold on, let me see here.
Maybe it could be the lighting.
It could. It's very possible. Oh, no. I know what it is.
You see, there's always listen. This is the technical difficulty segment of the show. It's in the
No.
first.
The settings, the new settings on the thing. Like I told you, now Ryan can actually see the chat. That's one of the new settings.
I can see what you're saying.
But on the video segment of the video settings, there was a new thing that I clicked called like auto touch up my image or our image, and apparently it just made me blurry. Is it better now? Is this much better? I hope it's better now. Or is it still blurry as shit?
I think you look all right. Personally, I'm not looking at you like that.
I don't need you to hit on me, okay?
Did you just say gluck gluck?
Gluck. Wow. Let's go. Okay, it's available in 1080p if you click 1080p. By the way, guys. Is it better now? Is it better? Is it better now? Is it better now? Is it? Are you
Is
gonna
it?
answer me? Are you? Ryan can see
Is it?
now, and now no one's gonna talk.
I'm like, is anybody actually talking? Like, you always tell me, it's all this activity in the chat, and I'm like, I only see what you pull up. But now it's like, now if I could see, I could interact. Can I too chime in the chat? Or I could just
Maybe
talk.
it's because Ryan looks hella crisp. No, but it should be better now. No, it's not better now.
Wow, nobody's ever said I looked hella anything before.
So on this episode, we will be going over some lovely things that are going on today. You brought up the name of the episode. Actually, I didn't know this apparently happened.
Listen, every once in a while, there's a good news story, and this one's a fucking good one.
See if I can find. Hopefully, it's not blocked by a paywall. It shouldn't be. Of course, it gives up my fucking email in the corner there. Thanks, guys.
It wouldn't be America without a good lawsuit. I think America is the leader of lawsuits, right? We there are more.
I have a 4K camera. Thank you very much.
I don't know how many Ks my camera is.
0K. It's also my lighting. I'm gonna get a Ring camera. Anyway, so what happened? What's this about?
My camera is the very racist camera.
So Wedgie on Disney water slide caused severe injuries. Lawsuit says Emma McGinnis suffered permanent bodily injury. You could read because I'm gonna do my dab.
Well, apparently she was given a new ass crack while going down this water slide at Typhoon Lagoon. I guess Typhoon Lagoon is in Florida. I take it. I think that one is in Orlando.
It's the only one that I've been to once.
The water park, right? The water park.
Yeah.
They have two, I think. One of them is like Glacier
Lagoon is the one you swim with the sharks, but in reality, you're not swimming with the sharks. There's glass down below separating you and the sharks.
That's still creepy, though. It's still pretty creepy, though. But I think the other one's like, anyway, this lady went down the slide and fucking her, I guess, bathing suit or whatever she was wearing. Fucking.
Right.
Yeah,
she experienced a painful wedgie and suffered severe and permanent bodily injury. According to a lawsuit that she and her husband, Edward McGinnis, filed in Orange County, Florida last week. She seeks at least $50,000 damages. Okay, she's only seeking $50,000. Give it to her.
Okay. $50,000 for a new butt crack. $50,000 sounds about. I mean, I would have asked for I would have definitely asked for like six figures at least.
But that's what I'm saying. They didn't even ask for a lot, so it probably is. They probably have a good case, or maybe not. Maybe they have a bad case, and that's why they asked for a little bit.
This guy's definitely got a bad case of the fucking atomic wedgie. That's for shit sure.
her body
But the
lifted
thing is,
up and she became airborne and she slammed
yeah, the thing is, there were more injuries other than
against the
that, but that was
slide,
just part of it.
which
Yeah,
increased the likelihood of her legs becoming uncrossed or otherwise exposing herself to injury. So, okay,
flailing. Yeah,
pause. So I went down a slide at a place called Mountain Creek. Mountain Creek used to be called Action Park. It's like one of the most dangerous water parks on the planet.
it was
And
the most dangerous park on the planet.
I went down a water slide where they tell you, hey, you have to keep your hands crossed and your legs crossed or you're gonna get seriously hurt. Went
Like a
down, and
missile.
I
Like
went
a
down the
missile.
slide really hard and really fast, and I slammed down when I got to near the, I guess one of the like lips,
Yeah.
and then I get off, and then I get off the ride. Actually, I was with your wife
Mhm.
and a few of our friends. I don't know if you were there at that time. I don't think you were.
No.
And everyone goes, Mike, your back is bleeding, and I go, huh? It is, and I go look in the mirror, and I have like 2 streaks on my back that are just bleeding from the water slide.
From what? From scraping against
Just
it?
from the force of me just man, it was quite,
Wow.
but I didn't, I was like, oh, awesome, whatever.
I went down a water slide like 3 weeks ago, like a big water slide, like a big fucking water slide, and I just missiled it all the way down. I hit
Missiled
the
it
water.
over.
Yeah, I just stayed stiff as a board, but like I
Light
hit
as a
the
feather,
water.
stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
I hit the water hard. I like skid, like a rock skips across the water. I skid and then like took all the water up my nose.
I don't think the rock skips across water. I think he kind of just like cannon bombs.
I didn't break the surface tension when I first hit it.
Horrible
Is
job.
what I'm saying. So I fucking clapped at
I
the
lost
very
the
end.
cap to my weed. Anyway. So yeah, I my back was bleeding. You got hurt or no? No hurt?
No, I did dive off a cliff twice earlier that day too, 40-foot cliff into a lazy river. That I mean, like at
Did
this
that hurt?
portion, it did not. It did not. I had a life vest on, so I came up like a dumpling. But like, but when I went in, I went in like my toes pointed out down, and I fucking went right in. I broke the water first, so I didn't really clap against it.
So I don't know if you ever
Yeah.
came with us at this either, but we went kayaking on the Delaware River. Have you come?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I was supposed to come, but I had to work overtime once.
All right.
When
So
you went with John, Lou, and a bunch of people.
we every year we would kayak down the Delaware River, and I never used. There's a cliff jump to jump in the water. There's a cliff you could jump in the water from.
Yeah.
Everyone usually does it. I never really did it, but I'm like, you know what? I've never done it. I'm gonna do it. And then I hear a story about our friend Chris. He bruised his tailbone jumping because he actually landed. His legs came up and he landed ass first.
Yeah.
So I go to one of the higher points of it, not the highest, but there's like one short one, a middle one, and then the real high one. I was in like the middle one, and I jump. When I land, I'm like, okay, that was great. I don't have a life vest on. I land, go swim back to my kayak. Everything's good. The next day, I was like, why is my ass fucking killing me? I bruised my fucking tailbone.
Yeah, I mean, like
Ow.
the impact could like fucking
Yeah,
send
man.
you,
Oh,
depending on how high up you go. But I think like it's how you hit the water. I mean, my wife hit the water. She dove off one of those cliffs in Mexico like 7 or 8 years ago, and her legs were kicked out a little bit, and on her thigh she had a massive bruise for like 2 weeks because she hit like that too. If you go hit sitting down, you're gonna have a bad fucking time. You're gonna have a bad time. But that's what they're saying happened with this McGinnis lady. They're saying that she was not positioned well on the slide for you not to injure. Like they tell you, you remember, like you said, they even at the dangerous fucking water
she
park.
said, hold on. She said that her legs were crossed, but when she lifted up a little and slammed back down, her legs were forced to open.
Oh, well, all right. I don't know if you remember Decapitated by the whatchamacallit, there was somebody who lost their hat on a roller coaster and was determined to get it back and hop
And
the
they
fence.
died. And they died.
They got their head punted off of their shoulders by the next roller coaster train that came through. This person thought they were going to be clever and they were going to catch it real quick, and the roller coaster came in so quick that somebody's foot hit this person's head and punted their head off their body. Like boom, and the head went flying like yards, and I don't know, landed in somebody's popcorn or some shit.
It would have been funny if it landed next to the hat.
Would have been funny if it landed in one of those carnival games and actually won the game. Like it ran into the basket, and that basket won the fucking
Bing.
big, and the kid's like, "Mommy, I did it!" And it's just some dude's head, and mommy's like screaming, and then the carnival guy's like, "Here you go, big giant panda, kid."
I'm just sharing the stream out because I don't do that enough. I guess I don't share it to every group I could possibly share it to. It takes so long. Facebook, it used to be quick, bang, 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 and now Facebook
puff,
isn't
puff,
like
pass, Mike. Puff,
on
puff,
top of that
pass.
shit no more. So I found something that okay. I guess it does fit with that theme. Oh, I hit the wrong fucking button. I hate this program sometimes. You
hit the wrong button a lot.
I fucking hate this program sometimes.
What's this program? Don't say it. Don't say it. Because you don't want any retaliation.
Okay.
Did we hold on, Mike? Did we cover Britney with the knives enough? Do you see all of the fucking mashups that people are doing with the Britney and the knives? Britney at the hibachi stand.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
No, but we didn't go into depth with her yet, though, right?
No, we did not. We did not. I didn't even think about bringing up today. Conspiracies to bring up today.
Her. Yeah, we're gonna wait. We'll wait till later for Britney.
Okay.
Save Britney. Save Britney for later.
Okay, so apparently a Swiss writer who called a journalist a fat lesbian was sentenced to 60 days in prison for calling her a fat lesbian. And my question about this whole story is she a lesbian and is she fat? And then if the answer is yes, I don't see a problem here. Now, if she's skinny and hot, I could see it's a defamation case. But if she's a fat lesbian, you can't fucking put someone in jail for telling the truth.
It's calling a spade a spade. Is that what you're saying?
Hold on. Where's the sound? Where's the sound? Give me sound, motherfuckers. What is this? What happened here? This isn't even it.
Is this a circus disaster?
There was a circus disaster too.
I don't know. I'm just assuming if I ever see motorcycles in one of those cages, if it comes up in my algorithm, it's usually an epic fail. It's usually
not even part of the article. What? Okay, fuck. What's going on with the internet?
What the fuck is with the fat lesbian, Mike?
Okay.
What is happening?
A court in Switzerland sentenced a writer and commentator to 60 days in jail for calling a journalist. I'm not supporting you. Leave me alone.
Good morning to you all.
Are you fucking kidding me?
This is a lot for a 16-year-old to go through. So first of all, give us the details here.
I don't want to support you.
What led to you getting kicked off your swim team?
I don't. This is not even about this. It's about getting kicked. I thought this was the lesbian. Where's the fat lesbian?
What happened to the fat lesbian, man?
A court in Switzerland sentenced a writer and commentator to 60 days in jail for calling a journalist a fat lesbian, and the decision is being lauded by LGBTQ groups. On Monday, French-Swiss polemicist. What? Policist Alan,
like a pundit or something, like a political person.
Alan Bonnet, who goes by Alan Sorrell, was sentenced. Blah 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 blah. Where's the picture of the fat lesbian though?
Sentenced for crimes of defamation. Now, that's her.
Is that her?
Are we assuming?
Is that her? Wait a second.
Would we be wrong to assume that this is the fat lesbian that he's talking about?
Listen to this. It's a conviction for a crime of opinion.
It's slander. Yeah, they have
opinion.
They have slander crimes.
Crime. What the fuck?
Here in the United States, you could seek money damages for defamation. You can't go to jail for it. It's not a crime. Okay. It just seems like Switzerland runs their discipline, their judicial system a lot like a junior high school disciplinary committee. You know, it's like you get 60 days detention if you call anybody names. Like you're not allowed to call people's names. Like the last time, I don't even think you could get in high school in the United States. I don't even think you could get detention for calling somebody a name unless it was disrupting class. That's pretty fucking. I mean, do you think he knew that he was gonna get 60 days for it? Do you think like he was like, you know what? I fucking hate this bitch so much. I'm gonna out loud call her a fat lesbian, and it's worth the 60 days in jail. Do you think he like? Do you think he rationalized? Do you think he was like, oh, this bitch?
Here's what I think happened. Here's what I think happened.
60 days? Is that it? Is that 60 days?
Here's what. Here's what I think happened. Okay, you ready? He got into a fight with his wife earlier that day, and he's like, "I need to get away from this bitch for at least a month. At least a month. What can I do to get away from this bitch for at least a month?" Then he got the 60. Then he got the 60 days, and he's like, "Fucking bonus."
Yeah, that could have been his plot. That could have been his plot.
Okay, if it's this person who's the fat lesbian, I mean, bitch, you're a fat lesbian. Put me in jail.
I don't know if you could call her. I mean, it's just really a torso shot.
She's not really fat.
You know what she looks like from the bottom.
It could be a problem if you called her a fat lesbian. I mean, I might just say, hey, is that a man?
That could still be a dude.
But, you know,
it could be. It could be.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if fat lesbian.
Would it be funny? Would it be funny if he called a dude a fat lesbian, and the fat dude got mad? And was just like, I'm gonna press charges against you. Imagine if it was a dude who just is like, hey, I'm not a fat lesbian. The fuck?
She looks like, okay.
She's man passing.
I don't want to sound mean to anyone who's part of the LGBTQ community.
She's going for gold, and she looks very man presented.
I just want to say something. There's a difference between a lesbian and a man-hating dyke.
You know the difference?
I'm looking at it.
How do you know that she's not just like one of the bros?
The face screams
that she's
man-hating dyke. Could be wrong. She has the face.
Could be wrong. She looks like she might be cool. This guy doesn't deserve to go to jail for 60 days for calling her a fat lesbian, though.
No, absolutely not. I mean,
what the fuck? But listen, do you think? Okay, can I ask you a question?
You know, I take back what I said. By the way, I kind of agree with you now. She doesn't look like a man-hating dyke. Only nice. In that one picture, yeah. I might be the asshole.
She looks.
The Reddit thing. Am I the asshole? I think I'm the asshole.
Am I the asshole? What I'm saying is, she looks like she's a librarian. She looks like she's a cat lady. She looks like she just happens to be lesbian. She reads a lot of books.
Yeah.
So,
damn.
Do you think now? My question is, he is charged with this crime. He has to go to jail for 60 days. Now, was it her who pressed charges to bring this crime up in court?
I mean, where's the article?
Or did he say it on a public forum and the authorities came after him because you can't say anything slanderous about anybody? Does somebody have to come out of the woodworks and say you said something bad about me in order for you to be charged with a crime? Or can a cop be like, you can't call that person an asshole, I'm taking you to jail?
That's a good question. Like, who
brought it up? Who brought it up? Because if she brought it up, I'm going to be like, come on, like, really? You know what I mean? Like, you could sue him. Sue him. Hit him where it hurts. 60 days in jail doesn't do jack shit, but puts a strain on the fucking on the correctional system of your country and your sovereignty.
Oh, fuck that guy. Hold on. I put him in jail for longer than that.
Why? He's a piece of shit?
The conviction was not the first time he was in trouble over his words. He had previously and repeatedly he was previously and repeatedly convicted in France for denying the Holocaust.
Oh shit!
Which is a crime in France.
Not surprised.
He was sentenced to jail time in 2019. Yeah. Listen, lady, go get him. Go get him. Fuck that guy. That turned around real fucking quick.
Yeah, maybe I don't give a shit as much.
Maybe they should have led with that. Holocaust desire sentenced to They should have led with that. What is this bullshit?
Do you
Post Swiss
do you think
writer called jerk? Fuck you.
do you think Holocaust deniers in the United States should go to prison for denying the Holocaust?
No, I think they should probably get sent to learn more about the Holocaust, but they could just always say, "Oh, it's all lies." Or
Do you mean like Clockwork Orange?
wow, probably. But like they're like flat earthers, bro. They're like flat earthers.
Flat earthers are like, they're coming up with a lot more new clever ways to explain flat Earth. There was like I don't know if you sent me something or I stumbled upon something where it was like they were like saying like the reason why there's curvature is because it's flat, like kind of like trying to turn around. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And even trying to use science like bending light to the reason why everything looks round.
Yes. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. I have it somewhere. Okay.
Right? I think I maybe said this before, but I might be repeating myself from like 100 episodes ago or 50 episodes ago or something, right? But if you're a flat earther, right? Because flat earthers have come up often in the past. We might not have talked about them in a while, being that we've been on all the other conspiracies that always come up. But flat earthers automatically, if you're a flat earther, you're automatically a moon landing denier, right?
Theoretically, yes. It's a great Stanley Kubrick movie, the moon landing.
But usually, like, doesn't one logic explain the next? Right? Like, well, if there's a flat Earth, of course we didn't go to the moon. Like, right? Wouldn't it just
exactly. That's exactly, yeah. I mean, we didn't go to Mars either. That's all just like Arizona or something.
So flat earthers think like India and China and Russia are all in on the conspiracy?
Well, hold on. Before we even dig in deep into this, we can't just go right into it. We have to, It's a lot louder than I want it to be, but here we go.
I think it sounded cool.
You ready?
Wait.
So he looks creepy. And he was in the bottom of the screen before, and I forgot I put it up, and it creeped me out.
Wait, do you actually think that flat earthers believe we're on a disc out in space? Oh, okay, so you are misinformed. Well, if you didn't know, flat earthers don't believe in an edge, so...
You don't believe in an edge, but the map you present to us as your flat earth map has edges.
Has an edge.
Nobody's going to be surfing or finding the edge of the earth anytime soon.
Because
so, Mike,
retarded, and it's a fucking globe.
Doesn't he look like one of those kids from what's that movie, The Village? What was it?
Yes. No, The Village or Children of the Damned or
Children of the Damned.
Children of the Corn.
Not Children of the Corn. There was that one ginger, Malachi, right?
That's Children of the Corn, yes.
And Isaac was the little dark-haired kid.
Yes.
No, Village of the Damned with all the alien blonde kids. Like they don't even look. They don't even like.
Right?
He don't look real.
He looks
don't look real.
Space is fake. No, you're fake.
Why assume that there's an edge to the flat earth when there's no edge to space? And if you've been misled to believe that we think that there's an edge to our level Earth that we live on, no, dude, there's a shoreline, bro. Antarctica. And here's all the pictures for everyone that keeps asking, like, where's the picture of the shoreline? Where's the picture of the edge? This is as far as we can go out, okay, until they start shooting people. And do you think I'm joking?
You?
I am not joking at all.
You can literally take a boat there. I mean... Given you don't go actually on Antarctica and walk because it's very dangerous, but you could take a cruise there.
This is the thing, Mike. Now, you know how like people go to Mount Everest and shit, right?
Yes. And they die there. Lots of
times. They die there. Now you're following me. Now they die there, and other people have gone since these other people have died there, and they leave the bodies there. And there are videos, dude. I think we might even pulled one up where the guy was like the body was sliding past the group that was climbing the hill.
Well, no, they were walking. They were walking past it or something like that. It was just stuck there.
Body, and the body started blowing away because it was just fucking the winds picked up. And people see these bodies. They've seen people have died trying to climb. People have tried to do this physical endeavor in this obstruction of mammoth proportions, right? Mount Everest, and they see the casualties right now. Who has gone and gotten shot for other people to have seen other people who had been shot before these people have been shot at and survived to say whether so you mean everybody who's gone to Antarctica has been shot? So has everybody who's gone to Antarctica since before firearms?
There's
right,
hold on.
what
There's
is
literally
happening to them?
research labs in Antarctica, which is why they were able to find the new viruses that or bacteria that was deep underneath the ice.
Yeah,
So,
the core sample.
you're fucking wrong, but that's not even. This isn't even a good example because it's easily disproven.
Independent exploration is allowed beyond the Black Circle, beyond the 60th South.
Listen to what you just said. He's saying the border is actually that black line and you can't go past it.
Of latitude, okay?
Independent people can't go past. In other words, I can't take a boat and go, let me go over here.
You
they don't
wouldn't
want to
want
come.
to. It gets too
Yeah,
dangerous.
because they won't have to. They don't want to have to go rescue my ass.
Hey, you go past this, just look up videos of people doing it. But in reality,
That'll be next. I'm gonna
Antarctica
look up people
isn't
doing
a
it next.
continent that's on the bottom side of a ball. It's actually an ice wall that encompasses the level Earth that we live on, containing all.
What does that mean? The level Earth that we live on. There's multiple levels of Earth.
Of the ocean water.
Mike, this guy's an example of like sort of like what Hitler wanted, but went horribly wrong after a couple of generations. That
Are
the
you saying
inbreeding.
What Hitler wanted because he's Aryan.
He looks like what Hitler wanted, but didn't realize was going to go spiral out of control when a couple of generations later, the inbreeding caused the offspring to be retarded.
Wow.
Because he is definitely like too many fucking very white people who didn't know maybe they were related or were related, like just had blonder babies and now believe that the earth is flat and has an edge and no one could go because they get shot at the edge. So who goes to the edge? Who's shooting at you?
We're going to look at the video. He said this video.
You
Let's
thought 500 billions of gallons of water was sticking to an oblate spheroid that's spinning? Oh, no one
Oh, God.
in history believed the earth was flat.
But he's taking all these things that we know not to be true and trying to say that we thought that. No one ever said no one in history thought the earth was flat. That people thought the earth was flat until people proved the earth wasn't flat. What?
And you may say, well, then give me one proof that the earth is flat. Come on, like, show me one proof. Like, I've seen curvature from a plane, man. Notice here, 200, about 300 miles is 11 miles of curvature. 200, how much do you think 273 would be? Like around 9? Have a look at the current world record distance photograph. 273 miles away.
When you use the word, like when you use the word around to describe a number of measures,
it's not even that.
Use the Mike when you use Mike when you use the word around to describe a numerical measurement, that really makes you look smart.
Not
like,
even that, guys.
Around.
Not even that. Listen, the Earth isn't a perfect circle. It's not. It's more like a pear.
An egg.
No, not even that. It's like we'll look at that next. So
yeah, like an egg. Like when the moon pulls that one part, like it gets squished from the spin and it gets pulled by the tide while the moon is pulling it. So it's like always egg shaped. Slightly egg shaped.
Well, you're forgetting things. Mount Everest and all these. Yeah, look real quick before I go back to that. I'm gonna show this one. It said that's the shape of the Earth, right here. You see that?
Yeah, but we have water on it. Fills out all that space.
No, it doesn't, because you have Mount Everest and the mountains that are huge. Look at that. That's a mountain that's sticking up.
Yeah, but you know from the scale, like.
That's what I'm saying.
If the Earth was the size of a marble, it would feel just as smooth as a marble. Because of how inconsequential the measurements are to that.
Well, yes, but this is like the actual shape of Earth. Like we have different point, like the highest points in the world that are closer to fucking space are going to stick out a little more on a planet that's not.
Yeah.
Like there you go. See,
And
it's
the
not.
Marianas Trench will be a big dent if you took away the water. It'd be
Oh,
a
yeah,
massive dent.
Now where'd this video go? Let's watch the rest of this fucking knucklehead.
0.4 miles of missing curvature. And I can already hear all the heliosexuals in the comments. Dude, the Earth's not a parabola.
What did he just say? What do you call it? Heliosexuals? Did you just call us
Heliosexuals.
Oh god, this guy's a fucking
Oh,
idiot.
this was from Zetetic Astronomy, Samuel Rowbotham's book. He was a flat earther. This isn't even our curvature model. And what I'd say to that, every single curvature model is within feet, under 1,000 miles. And we were talking about 273. You know, now that I think about it, sea level is a great description, overall description of the Earth that we live on. Sea level, because all of the sea is at the same level. You think sea level?
He has
No,
like
no,
dead
it's not.
eyes.
No, it's
he
not.
doesn't. Hold on. He's not blinking. I don't
hasn't
think he's
blinked
blinked once.
Makes
He
sense on a constantly curving ocean. No container, no level water, constantly curving. I don't know. It looks
Gravity.
something more like this, but if you
What is this thing?
want more content like this popping up on your For You page and your following, make sure
I
you're
don't.
following me here
No.
and check out my bio for my link tree. It's got my podcast that
don't.
we're coming out with.
You don't blink. You're a serial killer. Holy shit.
That guy has killed people and dug up holes and was like, while he's digging up the hole, he's like, there's no way the Earth is curved. Like while he's digging the Earth, like while he's digging into the Earth, that's when he comes up with the epiphany, is because I have to be digging into a flat surface.
I'm trying
I
to
thought
find now. Like
That was funny. I thought that was funnier when I thought it. I guess I should have said it out loud. Man, nothing turns me on more than the fucking sun. I get all flush.
Now we'll go from one conspiracy to another one. This one kind of actually made me go, "Oh, we're fucked."
Let's put it this way. Right now, if we look at Ukraine, I would argue that the Ukrainian phase of the war is really over. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that the Ukrainians have been bled white. They've lost over 400,000 men killed. Some people think as much as 450,000. I don't know.
That's a lot. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
man.
In a very short period of time.
Thousand
Yeah, man.
potentially dead Ukrainian troops as a result of the last offensive. I don't know.
And you know,
But-
like if you remember in the beginning of this war, everything was like, "Oh, Russia's really failing at this, and they're doing really bad, and they're losing lots and lots of troops." And the news coming in is
Because
that
they had more casualties than people anticipated, but it doesn't mean that they were losing manpower in the way that Ukraine was
yes.
losing manpower.
Not even that. People forget, and I forgot what talking head I originally heard say this, is that people don't learn and they don't look back at history. And they're like, the reason why Russia was so strong during World War II is they lost a lot of
Numbers.
fucking people, but
Yeah,
they had the
numbers.
numbers. That's the thing. A lot of people
Yeah.
fucking died, but
Gotta
they
look
had
at
the
it this
numbers.
way. Look at it this way, Mike. Like, you've been at war for 2 years. The Russians have lost 500,000 people. The Ukrainians have lost 400,000 people. And you're like, oh, well, the Ukrainians are actually winning because they're taking out more Russians. But what the thing is that the Russians have 3 million troops and the Ukrainians only have 1 million troops. So
Not
the
even 1
Ukrainians-
million. They probably have like 700,000.
I know. So devastated their ranks, and the Russians just have another conveyor belt of troops coming back out to the lines. A lot of them have been defecting. It's been a lot of. Yeah, man. He who has not learned from history is doomed to repeat it.
But
that is my
Any way you slice
philosophization.
it, they're losing soldiers at a rate that is about the same as the Allies lost troops in World War I on the Western Front.
Jeez.
So remember, we fought for 110 days in the First World War, and we had 318,000 casualties.
Jesus
Of
Christ.
that
That's a
number,
lot.
110,000 Americans died. So you could say that every day that we fought a battle in 1918 on the Western Front. we
Yo,
lost-
pause that. Did he say battle with an H? Did he say
Battle.
battle?
Battle. It does sound like he said battle.
Battle.
We
Does
fought
he-
a battle.
Battle. We fought a battle.
Americans died. So you could say that every day that we fought a battle.
A
In
battle.
19-
A battle.
1918 on the Western Front, we lost 1,000 men. That's the kind of loss that the Ukrainians are experiencing. Now, what does this mean? What it means is that we're into what I would call now the Biden phase of the Ukrainian war. What's the Biden phase? Well, it's the phase where the Ukrainians don't really have any troops to throw at the enemy. So now we're giving them long-range strike systems, 300-kilometer range missiles,
Rockets.
500-kilometer range missiles, 300 miles, 200 miles, 150 miles.
And the problem with that, though, now is you're giving Ukraine the power to bomb parts of Russia at their border. So we never wanted Ukraine to expand past their attack. Like, we don't want Ukraine to attack Russia. We want Ukraine to defend itself.
Protect its borders, and that's it. Yeah, but now it's turning into like, this is like, okay, as a layman, I understand this as like
Wow.
escalation.
That story. Wow.
Dad failed French every year of high school, and was the only reason passing year because he was a teacher fled to Canada to avoid the draft. Well, a lot of people did that. So, yeah, a lot of people fled to Canada. I think, isn't that the story of Rick James? Rick James fled to
Rick
Canada
James, bitch.
and met like Neil Young or some shit, and then
Probably.
like came back after Vietnam and then became famous.
Probably.
No, I think that's the story.
You were saying something about Ukraine?
Yeah, like, is this escalation? This is escalation. Giving them rockets.
Yes, 100%. This is going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
And they're lobbing these things at the Russians, primarily in Crimea. So we just saw a major attack involving 11 Storm Shadow cruise missiles. 3 got through. The other 8 were shot down.
I love that name.
Those
I love
3
that name.
did damage.
What was the name?
Storm
A
Shadow.
major attack involving 11 Storm Shadow cruise missiles.
Wow. Storm Shadow Cruise Missile.
Dangerous. We have cool names for fucking weapons, though.
3 got through. The other 8 were shot down. Those 3 did damage to the dry docks and harbor in Sevastopol, to a submarine and to a capital ship. In other words, a warship. They also managed to employ some underwater unmanned systems.
Underwater drones.
He said water with an H2. Hoarder. He said underwater.
They call them underwater drones or water drones. They're probably British. They did some damage to Crimea. In other words, the Ukrainians have nothing left. They don't have the artillery ammunition to support a major ground attack. So the Ukrainians are lobbing long-range strike systems at the Russians. So what does this mean for us? Well, it means that we're goading the Russians into a major offensive to end the Ukrainian war. Because the Russians are looking at this and saying, well, we've already killed what consists of most of the Ukrainian army.
Yeah, the only thing left for like us or any of the allies to do is put boots on the ground, which is not good.
I mean,
Or figure out a way.
it sounds like, I mean, not like I agree with the tactic or like I want the war to escalate in Ukraine or anything, but what it sounds like is that they want to have a remote war with Russia using boots on the ground troops and the United States supplying the Ukrainian forces with.
But that's what he said. There's no more soldiers left, so there's no one left to fight. They're using these.
What you would need is just a few to operate these machines and these drones to fucking, if they're using like autonomous, not autonomous.
Where's Apex Legends?
If they're using like fucking remote control, like like underwater torpedoes and fucking subs that just like blow up near, like remotely, then or mines. I think they're like actually underwater mines that could just go to one spot and they could blow it up. Like then they're looking to do a hands-off war with Russia just to see what the fuck is going to happen.
So having killed most of it, what are we going to do now about these launches? Well, we know that the Ukrainians launched some of these strike systems from the coast of southern Ukraine between the Romanian border and Odessa. Well, Odessa is on the menu.
Yep.
So I suppose this now means that the Russians will have to cross the Dnieper River, move south, and seize Odessa. They can do it.
That's on the water.
The biggest problem for the Russians down there will be logistics because it has to come once again through Crimea and over the river down into Odessa. The Russians are also positioned to launch an offensive up in Kharkov, up in the northeast corner of Ukraine. Interestingly enough, the Ukrainians are evacuating people from both Kharkov and Odessa.
Where? In the center of the country? They're going Midland?
It sounds like, right? Isn't that where?
Because if they're going to north border and then they got to come down to retreat, and if you're in Odessa, which you're on, I think the Black Sea, then it's a coastal city. Then you got to go north to go inland. Because
I mean, you know what the bright side of this whole thing is, right?
There's a bright side.
Yeah, like once the war's over, whatever happens, it'll be really cheap to go on vacation in Ukraine.
Well, we can give them more long-range strike systems. We can give them F-16s at some point.
And also, oh my God, man, think about this.
What's that?
Like, besides being vacationing in Ukraine being really cheap, the woman-to-man ratio would be off through the roof.
Oh shit! Because
all the men are dead.
Off.
Yeah, man. So all you have is like hot Ukrainian blonde chicks or black hair, but.
It's just going to be wow. That's right? Fucking crazy.
Even though they're going to be very hard to employ them and they can't really sustain them. But what are we going to do? And this is the key question, because we've reached the point now where we either have to say that's it, we can't do anything else because to do much else risks direct war with Russia.
Yeah.
Or go to war with Russia.
We get more deeply involved. We actually talk about the use of our own ground forces.
See?
Now, I don't know which way this is going to go, but I can tell you that if we're going to risk a direct confrontation with Russia, we're not prepared.
This is scary.
We don't have the months of ammunition. We don't have the means of reinforcement. If we go to war with Russia, the Russian submarine fleet will sink everything that tries to cross the Atlantic. Can't be done. If you can't move reinforcements across the Atlantic, guess what? You're in a lot of trouble in Europe.
You know who he is, right?
He looks like a white dude who sounds like he has military experience and maybe foreign policy shit. I don't know. Douglas McGregor, that's his name?
Retired U.S. Army colonel and government official.
He's the colonel?
Yes.
Means that there are 32 member states who potentially now offer targets to the Russians. The Russians don't have to sit there and take damage from us from long-range strike weapons. If they find out we're launching weapons from Poland, from Romania, from Slovakia, they can attack those places, from Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. Remember, they've got 300,000 troops sitting in reserve, and they're continuing to quietly mobilize with the goal of reaching 1.2 million, probably in January or February of next year. So we're in a terrible position if we want to wage war with the Russians. So why are we doing it? Why are we poking them? Why are we provoking them?
What's up with that?
Why are we giving the Ukrainians weapons with which they can attack targets inside Russia?
Yeah, tell me, Dougie. What's up, Doug?
A broader war.
That certainly is. How alarming is it to you to see Vladimir Zelensky going to be on a plane in a couple days and up on Capitol Hill?
It's Volodymyr. Oh, this is
having a state dinner with Joe Biden.
This is before that.
Well, I'd rather he eat with Biden than me. I have no desire to do that. And I could imagine that must be a very confusing meal. Past the salt, and God knows what Biden is going to hand him. I don't want to go to that. But Zelensky is coming for a $21 billion payoff.
Yep.
More money thrown down the rat hole when there's absolutely no chance for Zelensky to win. There never has been. and his government is really miserably unpopular inside Ukraine. Remember, they're now pulling people off the streets. They're headed into the Carpathian Mountains to find any living human beings they can. They want NATO governments to round up military age eligible Ukrainian men and ship them back to Ukraine to die in the Russian meat grinder.
Damn.
And this is a catastrophe. The inhumane dimension cannot be overstated, because the wounds that these Ukrainian soldiers are receiving on the battlefield are wounds from which most of them will never recover. Yeah. We don't know how many amputees.
See, single Americans go to Ukraine, they'll do real well.
But there are tens of thousands of them. I've heard some people say 70,000. I've heard others say 60,000.
Oh shit!
I mean, the whole thing is insane. There's no chance for a victory here. So what else is he going to be told while he's there? Well, I'm being told that Blinken and Nuland are saying, well, we have to have a freeze. We have to freeze the battlefronts. That's the only way forward. Well, the Russians aren't going to freeze anything.
Yeah, why would they have a ceasefire?
The Russians have a set of demands. We have been unwilling to consider any of them. Yep. At the beginning of this whole thing, these were requests. Now they're demands that have to be met. Ukraine cannot join NATO. End of discussion. So that means Ukraine can be neutral. Now, I don't know what other conditions may be attached to it, but we can certainly live with neutrality. We don't need Ukraine in NATO.
100%.
In fact, Ukraine
you know what? Pause that. Okay. Why now?
I was putting.
And I know the media is always going to be polarized. They're always going to be a for or against. But why has that never been something that has ever been mentioned on the table and or has been mentioned as an outside idea, maybe not even by the parties that are taking part in this, but even other pundits saying that why hasn't there been a negotiation on neutrality?
That's okay. Half the problem is Zelensky, too, because Zelensky's like, we are not surrendering. Okay.
Right.
And we are not giving up any of our land. We want it all back.
Crimea too, right? He 2014.
He made some crazy demands about that, but he's not going to get that. We know that. But like, it's all about money too, because we're giving so much. We're spending so much money, but we're also getting so much money because now all these companies are making money from the American government.
This is like another contractor situation, like it was.
Yeah, 100%. Who makes the bullets? Who makes the guns? Who makes the weapon systems?
The neutral state is a wonderful idea. It puts almost 500 miles between us and the Russians. Yeah. Why is that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing. But see, the larger problem is that the goals that we originally stated, when I say we, I'm talking about people like Blinken and Austin and Nuland and Biden and Sullivan and others, was to harm Russia, harm its economy, weaken the state, potentially overthrow or remove. I think
their economy is stronger now.
The opposite has happened.
Russia
is stronger now than it's been since the 1980s. Its military establishment is probably the best of its kind, I would say, certainly in Europe and maybe in the world, given the enormous armaments that they've managed to turn out, brand new equipment, the tactics they've used, the organizational construct they've built. What are we trying to accomplish? We're not going to get it. We're not going to get a freeze. The Russians are going to say, freeze yourself, stick your head in the freezer. It's not going to happen in Ukraine. So where are we headed? Well, I'm afraid we're headed to more escalation until finally the Russians are standing on the Polish border. And my fear has always been that we would become desperate because we can't do anything other than throw boulders at them over the wall. You know, this is sort of like siege warfare. If you can't take them on, what do? You start hurling crap over the wall. That's what we're doing. It's not going to win. It's not going to change anything.
Hurling crap over the wall. That is sort of what's.
It's a great description of what's happening.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about desperation in the West. Now, of course, you know, it may be, given Europe's really fragile economic condition right now, that Europe collapses financially and economically before anything gets much further. I mean, we're in trouble too. I mean, all you have to do is turn on the business channels and people say, oh, Treasury yields are up. Prices for bonds are down. Nobody wants our bonds. Oh, by the way, trillions in U.S. Treasuries
dumped by China and India. This is old, by the way. This is older, and it happened again. China dumped a shitload of treasuries, and so did India.
Are being dumped by China,
Saudi Arabia, Jesus,
the Emirates.
Because
this is not a good thing for us.
No,
we're in trouble.
It's a very bad thing for us.
Yeah.
I think what's lucky for us is also China's going through some shit right now too. They have high unemployment, and they're going through a lot of their economy's not good either.
Yeah.
But if their economy was real good, we'd be fucked even more because they're our biggest competition, and they'll destroy us then, basically. Not war, financially.
Yeah.
And like people don't realize, I don't think the conspiracy behind COVID is it's a Chinese virus that they released intentionally to cause mayhem. I do believe it was an accidental lab leak. And because people don't realize COVID also did a shitload of damage in China. People did die. But it's most economic damage, meaning all those factories that they mass produce stuff that they would ship here and ship everywhere weren't producing. So it was losing trillions of dollars as an economy.
So you would think someone with any sense of balance or rationality would say, gee, we probably ought to find a way out of this. Let's get some sort of deal on the table and put an end to this thing. But it's not happening.
It certainly isn't. Listen, I do want to talk about a state dinner that was a little bit more important than the one between Joe Biden and Vladimir Zelensky that's going to happen this week. And that's the one between Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un. When you saw the...
So I want to say something about that too. I
don't think that means jack shit.
No.
You know,
okay.
I think it
means a lot.
On Putin's part, just be like, guys, look at this. He's my friend. Fuck you guys. Like, I don't think it's anything.
You gotta remember something. Kim Jong-un has been fucking with us and threatening us forever.
Dude, I ain't never been worried about North Korea.
He's gonna put it in perspective. And see, I never blew off North Korea like they were nothing. They're dangerous because they have. It's not that they have China in their pocket.
For the region. They're dangerous for the region.
It's not. Look, hold on.
And we make it out of the kingdom and then stick around for an extended stay in Moscow. What are the optics of that? And in the big scheme of things here, I mean, Vladimir Putin's always trying to play 2 moves ahead. What does it mean for, the global battlefront as it's shaping up right now?
Well, first, let's make something clear. Mr. Kim has not missed many meals. So if you offer him something to eat, he's going to show up. I'll guarantee you.
Kind of like what you were saying.
Other than that, this is much more important for Mr. Kim than it is for Putin. What Putin has done is sent a clear and unambiguous signal to us. You refuse to cooperate with us. You won't talk with us. You won't negotiate with us. You continue to try and harm us. Fine. Then we will provide to Mr. Kim the missile body and the warhead that he needs to have an ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile, that can mount a nuclear warhead, and if necessary.
So what's very interesting about Russia, by the way, is throughout history, we went through this wave of being really friends with Russia, being on the verge of nuclear war with Russia, being friends with Russia. Not being friends, but not openly not getting along, at least. Like, there were points in history where we were buddy with Russia with certain things, and it just goes the other way. And it's usually because of politics. The government finds a reason to dislike them because of communism, which yes, he's not a good leader by any means from our perspective. But I
think if North Korea ever tried to light a nuke off in our direction, we would have had it intercepted in the air, and it would be detonated in the air.
It gets worse. Hold on.
And we would retaliate immediately, wipe Pyongyang off the map, and there'd be a mass exodus to the southern border to South Korea of a whole bunch of North Koreans just defecting all at once.
You gotta remember something.
200,000 or 300,000 people all bum
rush. A lot of people in North Korea believe what they've been told, so they think the rest of the world is this evil place or whatever they might believe whatever they're taught. So they don't
So let's
have
prove
any.
it to them. Let's prove it to them that we're that fucking
Wait,
evil.
hold on, it gets worse. This whole
Reach
conspiracy gets worse.
targets in the United
I'm playing this during conspiracy the segment because it's a little
Because
conspiracy
it's very
But-
involved with the conspiracy theory.
but he also is talking about facts. He's like, this is what could
No,
happen, and this is what is
yeah.
happening, and he would
Yeah.
know
United
this.
States. So he's done that. Xi in Beijing has always fought that and objected to it. Chinese don't like North Korea. North Korea is a dangerous catalyst for conflict. The Chinese are about stability, not war.
Yeah.
And the Chinese have enormous problems at home themselves. Problems with unemployment, problems with real estate, problems with corruption. But the Chinese have relented and told Putin, all right, you can do it. Give Kim this capability. The capability is designed to terrify the hell out of us. You know what? It works.
Yeah.
I'm not reassured in the least that Mr. Kim has this capability. I don't think he's crazy, but I don't like the idea that he's got it. And by the way, keep your eye on Cuba. That is
So when he brings up this point, so Venezuela hates us right now,
Okay. Yeah.
and the reason why is
Gasoline, because of gasoline, right?
well, we originally caused the instability in their country.
Yeah.
That caused someone to overthrow the president at the time.
Yeah.
So we then put in our president of our liking to basically be able to control them and control their oil.
And then Chavez took over.
Then this guy took over, but I think he got elected.
Yeah, but it wasn't Hugo.
Well, he got. I
Chavez?
believe he got elected, the president of Venezuela.
Yeah,
And
after
he's
Hugo
now-
Chavez died, this guy
I
got
think,
elected.
and he's like, "Fuck America," and I'm not dealing with them. And right now, we're not on good terms with Mexico either. And the problem I think with that is we need to be like buddy with Mexico. We got to figure out how to do that. You know, they're our neighbors, for Christ's sake.
Well, I think the fentanyl coming in doesn't fucking help.
Well,
you
that's
know
the
what I mean?
yes, that's
And that fentanyl's coming from China too.
yeah, exactly.
Mexico, Colombia, Latin America, because things there could get very dicey very quickly. We have open borders. We don't know what's going on in Mexico and Central America in most cases. The places are overrun with.
This is why you can't accept every person coming into this country. You can't do it. We have enemies in this world, and you're like, oh, just let them in. They're migrants. I want to say something after this part.
Russian and
I sure took
Chinese
video.
influence, agents, spies, intelligence officers. All of these can contribute to one hell of an explosion inside the United States when they want it to. We're not thinking about that. If we had any brains at all, we'd secure the border, start rounding up illegals, and boot them out.
This is going to piss off any fucking liberal that's for open borders or some nonsense and saying you need to help these refugees, because I want to say something. So I've been driving for Uber Eats, as people know, and today I was driving and I drove past Creedmoor Hospital, which is not the active part of the hospital, but the abandoned part of the hospital.
Okay, yeah.
And as I'm driving by, I see a lot of people that didn't quite look like they belong there.
Okay. You mean
'Cause it's
not like your types who go urban exploring, not like those types.
No. So like it looks like they knocked down one of the buildings, and in the parking lot I'm driving past nothing but trailers. And I'm like,
Okay.
where'd this come from? What is this? And I look, and there's fucking migrants everywhere.
Oh, it's like a FEMA
It's a
camp.
migrant camp. It's a migrant camp. Hold on.
Yeah, like
And
in
then-
Scarface, like the beginning
and
of
then-
Scarface.
Yes. And then I look around and I go, wait a second. I don't see one woman or child here.
They're all
There's not
dudes.
one woman or child. They're all dudes.
They don't separate them though. Don't they separate the men and the women
I don't know.
and the
Won't
kids?
you
They
stick with
might-
your family? I
I don't know.
like this doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. Then I never see women or children, actually. Never.
I think they separate them. I don't know if you remember Scarface. It was just all dudes in that camp, right?
Yes.
Were there women there? There were no women there. It was just
No,
all dudes because that's how they vet you.
They weren't refugees. in
were
Scarface. They were criminals. The whole opening of Scarface is to piss off America. Fidel Castro released all his prisoners to go to America to migrate.
Yeah. Yes.
They were all
but-
criminals.
Yes, but yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, that could be true.
So when that
But I'm just saying, like maybe they separate them. I don't know.
May-
I don't know.
I don't think
It would
they
be
do.
smart because you can't trust these dudes with these women and the children.
You
They
can't.
could
I
be
know. I talked
rapists.
about that last time. You can't trust
They could
any of
be
them, which is
rapey-
why they
they could
shouldn't
be
be
rapey
walking around.
motherfuckers.
There's no one watching them. They're walking around freely like this is their fucking country. It makes no fucking sense. I sound like a racist, but it makes no fucking sense. If they were white people from Canada and they're in this big migrant camp,
You would have the same
what
problem.
the fuck are these
right?
motherfuckers doing here?
All right, fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
You don't know.
That's
Who
the
the
problem that we have down here in South Florida is that we have mad Canadians.
You don't know who the fuck they are.
You don't know, like in South
And
Florida, dude.
If China
Dude, in South
or Russia
Florida,
want-
this time of year in South Florida, it's all Quebec and Quebec and Ontario license plates.
I'll be right back.
Oh shit! I guess Mike has to take a shit. I told Mike not to do it, but he decided to take a laxative before the podcast. So he warned me. He was like, I might have to. I was like, listen, I told you not to take it. I know you've been constipated for days, weeks, maybe even. But now's not the time to take this laxative because it's going to kick in the middle of the podcast, and you're going to have to get up and run away. So he left me here alone, and I'm talking about Mike's bowels on our podcast while I'm smoking a joint. And this is how I spend my Wednesday night. What's up with you guys in Commentville? Got anything spicy to say? Controversial? What do y'all think about World War III? You think this is how? Okay, I'll wait for you. Do you think this is how World War III gets started?
Okay. So, as many people know already, there's a famous quote like how to destroy America, and you have to destroy it from within and whatnot. So, like, if you need to destroy us from within, it's very easy to get within our country just by fucking showing up and not getting the proper vetting and now you're all of a sudden you're here and you could do whatever the fuck you want if you're a spy at this point.
Is that like how Rome fell? Like it was sacked by the barbarians?
No.
But
speaking of
look,
Rome fell, you know what I watched yesterday? This is completely off topic and I haven't seen in so long. Gladiator.
Oh yeah.
Such
That
a
always
fucking
pops
good
up on
movie.
TV. Every time it pops up on TV, I stop scrolling. I just like, all right, let me watch this.
It's a good movie. I mean,
It's a very good movie.
you know what's very crazy?
Joaquin Phoenix was fantastic in that movie.
Yes.
He made me hate him. I thought I hated the actor when that movie came out, but
Yes.
he played such a good
I like him because I hate
yeah.
But like, speaking of which, so I'm watching Gladiator, and I don't know if you're a fan of this other thing I'm going to mention, but I'm watching Gladiator, and I go, why does this story look so familiar? Why does this story look so familiar? And I go, holy shit, this is Game of Thrones. Or Game of Thrones stole this. Holy
Well,
shit.
Yeah, because Gladiator was loosely based on two historical Roman emperors. The Marcus was
Well, do you know
Not-
what I'm referring to in Game of Thrones? What aspect of it? Do you watch Game of Thrones?
well, I've only made it like 7 episodes into the first season.
But so basically, then that means you kind of got up to it where, like, the king, spoiler alert, the king is dying, and he
Mhm.
tells his best friend, I'm not letting my son take over the throne yet. I want you to take over the throne until he's of age and not be an asshole, So I want you to take over the throne, and the king dies, and instead of him taking over the throne, the queen petitions for the son to take over, and they bury the evidence, imprison him, call him a traitor, and eventually execute him instead of letting him live or him getting away. It's the same plot of
You know-
Gladiator.
Game of Thrones is really just it's D&D soap opera.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like that's the chemical comp. That's how you make Game of Thrones.
You know where the guy who wrote it, where he's from, where he lives?
Well, he definitely lives in a single story home because he don't look like he climbs any stairs.
Wow. No, seriously. You know, like, I thought he was like, you know, the guy that directed The Lord of the Rings from like New Zealand or whatever nonsense, and like,
Nah,
you know,
he's just like a fat guy from Ohio or some shit.
what's his name? What's his fucking name?
You almost said Tolkien.
No, I know it's not Tolkien.
Oh, dude, about the World War III thing. Actually, this is the World War III quote. I think Einstein said this. He said, "What did he say?" He said, "World War I, World War II fought with all these weapons." He said something like to the effect. I'm paraphrasing. Like World War III will be fought with sticks and stones.
Yes.
How do you interpret that? Do you mean
I don't
like we would have fucking
Because
destroyed
once
leveled
you nuke
missiles?
everything and everything's
Yeah.
destroyed,
All that's left
once-
is sticks and stones.
you gotta remember this: the power grid goes bad, right? Say we get nuked, and the power grid's out because we were fucking nuked.
And we're back in the
Um,
Stone Age.
Basically, once you run out of gas, so we're not using vehicles. I mean, what? It's okay. I would go by timeline of The Walking Dead. Say after 10 years, basically, you there's no more gas left because you don't know how to make gas. You're not getting any more imports of gas or exports of gas.
Is that what happened 10 years into The Walking Dead? They ran out of gas?
It was about 10 to 13 years in the whole from
So
beginning to end.
what
of
did
The
they go
Walking
to?
Dead.
Horse and carriage?
Yes, they ended up having to use horses again, and it was not a carriage. They were pulling the cars. The horses were pulling cars.
Well, the cars are still functional in that way, so that's
By the
funny.
way, the writer of Game of Thrones is from Newark, New Jersey. Newark? Oh, Bayonne. Excuse me, Bayonne.
Bayonne.
He's from
Wow.
fucking Bayonne, New Jersey.
Damn. He's by the oil refineries, right? Isn't that what's out in Bayonne?
Yeah,
The oil
yeah.
refineries, right?
Nothing to do. Can't
That's
stare at that shit.
literally that is a stone's throw from Staten Island,
So,
I think,
I
right?
feel like Staten Island should have went to war with Bayonne just to take over, because then it'd be Staten Island would be 3 islands, like the borough of Staten Island would be like 3 islands.
A
Take
lot,
over
of
that
people, a
whole.
lot of people say the other way around, that Staten Island should just be an extension of Jersey.
No, fuck that. I mean, it basically is Jersey.
Staten Island wanted to be
It
not
has a
part of New
Jersey
York City.
accent. Staten Island kind of has a Jersey accent.
I think people, petitioned to have it secede from New York City and even secede from New York State and become part of New Jersey. I think that was an actual thing in Staten Island. Well, all right. Do you know this? I don't know if we mentioned this. Well, we mentioned that Texas was its own like country, right? We mentioned that. You knew that? Like back in the 1800s, Texas was its own
before
sovereign.
it became, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that the northern? I'll wait for you to pass the cough.
Ooh.
The northern portion of Maine wanted to secede from the United States and be part of Canada.
Wow.
Did you know that? And that there's
No.
still a group of people who are separatists, who they don't do terrorist acts or anything like that. They just try to keep signing a petition, but they like the United States is just like
they
no,
don't do
we're
terrorist
not,
acts.
we're not like letting you go. Yeah, they're armed and all that shit, but nobody's ever gone to jail. I don't think any of them have ever been it's not like they're like January 6th storming the Capitol or anything like that. They just don't want to be part of the United States, I don't think. But I don't know how I feel about that now because of Canada's gun laws, because a lot of these people are 2A folks, you know what I mean? So they may not want to go to Canada now. Maybe they just want to be not part of Maine.
Do you know who Dipshit of the Week is? It's actually old. It's like 2.5 weeks old, 3 weeks old.
Surprise me.
Blast
from the past.
I wanted to talk about last time and I didn't get a chance to.
Well,
and
we
I
skipped
didn't.
a few episodes, so let's make up for an episode of it. Not Dave Portnoy. Was it Dave Portnoy?
Yes. What were you thinking?
I don't know. I thought maybe this was like an ongoing drama with the pizza guy.
Hold on. So
is that him firing somebody again?
No. So this is fucking epic, and it shows you how unauthentic the media is.
Okay.
Hey, Emily, this is Dave Portnoy calling. I'm recording you right now, but I've noticed a bunch of people. It seems like you're sending. We have this pizza fest happening on Saturday, and you're reaching out to our advertisers, and you're basically sending an email that says to the effect, "Dave's a misogynist, racist. Do you want to defend yourselves advertising at this event?" Right?
So the reporter, journalist, is sending emails to his sponsors for his pizza fest, asking
shit
them
about
how they feel being associated with him and his company, who's him known as a known misogynist and whatever
A misogynist, racist.
racist.
Do you want to defend
So he's confronting her.
yourselves advertising at this event, right?
But he has a pizza review.
What?
But he has a pizza review.
This isn't a pizza review.
No, but he has one. Why wouldn't he be at the pizza event? Like, why not?
No, it's not.
sponsored by pizza people.
Well, of course, but the journalist is emailing them for comment saying, I want to talk to you. Talk to me about why you associating yourself with someone who's a known racist and misogynist.
What's your name, Dave? I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm the guy you're writing the article about, Dave Portnoy.
Oh, you're Dave Portnoy. Oh, hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. No, I'm not. I haven't said anything like that.
What'd she just say? I hadn't said anything like that.
She backpedaled.
I never said anything like that.
Well, I can read if you want. If you want, I can read what you actually sent. I have it.
She has the
Yeah,
emails.
I sent a bunch of notes, so I want to make sure I know which one.
Okay. We are planning to write about the festival and how some of the sponsors and participants have drawn criticism by seemingly to associate themselves with Dave Portnoy, who has a history of misogynic comments and other problematic behavior. I want to make sure that Blank had a chance to respond to this, since the company is the most prominent of their partners of his festival.
Oh,
So at least he said blank, like he's leaving other people's names out of it.
Yes,
So that's good. Yeah.
But she literally just said, I didn't say any of that. And then he says word for word, yes, look, this is the physical fucking email from my sponsors. They showed me the email. You reached out to them.
that's the one I sent to, which was definitely the most pointed of them, because I really did want them to respond. And
I wanted them. Oh, yeah, I did say that because I wanted them to respond. You lying whore.
So it's like that means like I'm trying to goad them like to get a response. Like you can't do that.
No.
You can't do that. That's picking a fight. It's like
Not even that, but it could cause him to lose sponsors for no fucking reason.
something from them.
Do you think that's fair? Like, I totally disagree with the assertions of what you said, that misogynist and all that stuff. So, like, it kind of backs people into a corner. So I'm happy to go over anything. I mean, that is pretty pointed. You said you didn't do it. Then I have the exact evidence of you doing it. So
No, I didn't say I didn't do that. I said I did. That was the one that was the most pointed.
well, no, before I provided proof, you said you didn't really remember doing that. And then I read it to you and you're like, oh yeah, I did it that one time. So you did do it. I'm happy to talk about the comments, because to me, it's kind of like torturous interference. Like, we're doing an event. Everyone's happy about the event. I've raised $50 million for small business. I've helped pizza. None of that. It's Dave's misogynic and problematic. And I'm happy to talk about it, because to me, nobody would like if someone's going around sending that email to their sponsors. And again, you're not like questioning. It's almost like a statement of fact. This is what I am.
Yeah. So I do want to talk to you about this. And I just want you to know that the story I'm working on with a colleague. And I want to kind of loop him on this, because we did want to talk to you.
When were you going to reach out?
We were planning on doing it tomorrow morning.
How can you do it tomorrow morning? Like, you didn't make an appointment with the guy, or you're just gonna cold call him in the morning?
Yeah, no, like you usually like call
Really?
ahead. Sometimes weeks with
Full
special,
disclosure.
especially important people like him.
They don't call him.
But
So you're going to write the article and then give me, like, I've had that a bunch. People write a full article and then give me the points after.
We're doing a bunch of reporting, and we wanted to make sure that when we finally did talk to you, we could really kind of present what, or talk about things more fully based on
Like what? Like
we've
it sounds
done.
like you have your opinion made of me based on that email.
No.
So then how, if you don't have your opinion made of me, how do you say in an intro email, Dave Portnoy has a history of misogenic comments and other problematic behavior? That's how you introduce the email.
She led with that.
So look, I just want you to know that this is no, I want to talk to you about this, but
don't you think you should talk to me before sending that email?
What I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to you when we want to have some specific questions for you, and so I wanted to kind of have the.
She has no idea what to say right now. She's in a corner because she's caught red fucking handed.
That's not a full idea. Like you.
And the problem with this is she's fucking with someone who has a following, owns a huge company, and is pretty well known. And a lot of people don't know who the fuck she is, and now they do, and they're not going to like what she's doing.
Anybody who's rationally reading that email being sent to an advertiser would have to be like, this is a hit piece, and you have your mind made up. Why else would you put... No, you call me in the intro. I'll say it again. Dave Portnoy has a history of misogenic comments and other problematic behavior. You didn't say Dave Portnoy raised $50 million for small business. Dave Portnoy saved thousands of pizza places. You didn't mention. You said it in a way that is putting sponsors on the defensive.
So what I worried about when we contacted you, I was worried that we would have sort of one shot to talk to you, right? And so what I wanted to do is make everything we wanted to talk to you about.
With what appointment?
That's why I was waiting to call you.
Because you wanted to have everything together before you talk, like comments and all this and that. Yeah, talks about didn't even exist. The guy doesn't like me, and now you're going to run with this on the Washington Post. And anybody who's listening to this to think you were going to give me a fair chance when you're leading to our sponsors before you talk to me is crazy.
Kind of talk tomorrow. Would that be okay?
She makes an appointment with him to talk tomorrow morning, and then the next day he goes on Fox, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, she didn't call me today.
They never called me.
Never called." He talked to what's his face, I think, on Fox. I forgot the guy's name, and he did a bunch of things. He did a podcast afterwards, and they were like, you really caught them red-handed. He goes, "I was not playing games. I mean, my sponsors are friends. These people are friends of mine. So when they get an email like that, they're not going to just go and do whatever. They're going to come right to me." Insane.
It is just straight up slander without getting or giving the opportunity to have somebody else comment on it, which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, if you're going to go and write a hit piece, you're actually supposed to try and reach out to the person and give them an opportunity, because you know what I mean? Most of the time they'll be like, "No, fuck no, I'm not going to talk to you." And then I'm going to run the story anyway. And then they run the story. You do have a chance to rebut. But they could print that too, whatever conversation you have with them. You know what I mean? So, but I think you should still give the other person the opportunity, which is a courtesy actually, and you're supposed to do that. Otherwise, it's just
apparently not that this is another conspiracy, but now that the radar's on Ashton Kutcher, they keep talking about him about different things. Like now he's double trouble. Ashton Kutcher is.
What did you say? They're putting another body on him?
Double trouble. Ashton Kutcher is, of course, another paywall. Anyway, Ashton Kutcher linked to another predator as he reels over his support for convicted rapist Danny Masterson.
What do you mean reels? Like he's reeling. What does that mean?
The radar has exclusively learned that
Rabbi
battled hunk was good pals with disgraced former Rabbi Yehuda Berg. Wow.
Yehuda
Berg of whatever Center International, who was found liable in civil court of applying a woman booze and prescription pills with intent of rape. That sounds kind of like the same kind of thing that Danny was charged with. So
what this is saying is that Ashton Kutcher just knows a lot of creepy, rapey dudes.
Yeah, and usually, you surround yourself with people that have similar like minds as yourself. So he's probably a rapist as well.
Okay, that's true. But Mike,
so listen. So now I'm saying official news. Breaking: Ashton Kutcher is a rapist. You heard it first on the Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. And Ashton Kutcher, please don't sue us. It's a joke.
Where do you
Okay.
have where do you have the proof that he's a racist?
I don't have proof that he's racist.
I'm sorry, a rapist.
I
he's a
don't
racist
have
rapist.
proof he's a rapist. I just know he's a rapist. It's a fact that he's a rapist, and I can't prove that. Ashton Kutcher, please don't sue me. It's a joke, okay? And you won't get anything anyway because I'm poor. But you know,
Yeah, if you keep saying that, he's gonna send you to Swiss jail for 60 days.
Jesus
What do you
Christ.
think? What do you think it's like in Swiss jail? Like, do you think it's like nicer than the United States, like in Switzerland?
No, what is
Do you know? I think everybody is supposed to own a gun in Switzerland. I think everybody's to own a rifle. Every citizen of Switzerland.
life inside?
Do they take your rifle away from you if, like, you call somebody a fat lesbian?
jail in Switzerland? They take the rifle away from you. You get. Or you get a locker. Oh, that's not a locker. It's a cell. Wait, that's your cell? It's a lot nicer looking than the ones in, you know.
It's not that bad of a. I mean, it looks very.
It's a boring
TV.
room. That's like a. Hold on.
تعرف في مصر عندنا
This shit's like a fucking $3,000 a month fucking studio
Swiss
apartment
prison.
in Manhattan, right? In
That looks
Manhattan,
like
I'm saying,
college
right?
dorm. It looks like NYU college dorm. That's what it
تعرف
looks
في
like.
مصر عندما يخرج شخص من السجن ويسأل أين كنت فيجيب أحيانا من باب الدعابة
She's speaking
أنا كنت
Arabic.
في سويسرا. حقيقة أنا الآن في سويسرا وتحديدا في أحد السجون
You know what she's
السويسرية
saying?
في إطار تجربة واختبار هذا السجن الذي سيتم افتتاحه
You're
في
reading
شهر
it.
أبريل.
What'd you say?
I said you're reading it.
No,
وأريد أن أشارككم هذه التجربة. تفضلوا معي في الزنزانة.
Wow. We got a toothbrush, get some forks. It's like a hospital food right here.
It's like
The
you're.
hospital
It's,
food, but
it's
like-
like you're. Like you're living in the space station, except with gravity. I mean, whatever. You just do a lot. I mean, I would always say that, like, I don't read enough. But if I ever had to go to prison, I think I would have to just pick up a lot of reading. Like, you almost have no choice. So she paces.
They seem very happy.
Wow. This isn't that much. This isn't like a deterrent to going to Swiss prison.
It's not.
This
I
is
can play
not
ping pong.
This is not deterring me from committing a crime in fucking Switzerland.
اليوم مر بهدوء وسلام. كان يوم مريح لكن رغم كل شيء البقاء في غرفة طوال الوقت بدون أي تواصل اجتماعي عدا مع حراس السجن حقيقة أمر صعب. الآن سأذهب إلى النوم. ليلة سعيدة.
I like the music behind it. It's all like, you know, chill.
Yo, where are the shanks? This does not look like Orange is the New Black.
الآن خرجت من السجن. كانت
She'll be back in 5 months after a ring of
All right.
crystal meth and prostitution.
تجربة جيدة.
What level of prison was this? That's my first question. Number two, what did she do to get put in Swiss prison?
That's a great question. I really don't know. And wait, did she get a tan all of a sudden? Oh no, it's just better lighting. I'm free
تجربة
again.
جيدة جدا. يمكن أن
It was a very exciting experience. What?
أكررها مرة أخرى لكن بشكل تطوعي. ما فيش أحلى من حاجة.
I'll go there just for that coffee. Swiss coffee?
Yo, I mean, like, listen. Now, if you
Read the comments. I'm the knucklehead. She was testing it. She wasn't in prison.
oh shit. So all right. So this is like 60 days in.
Yeah, so basically she wasn't really in prison, so she didn't get treated like the rest of the prisoners, so they wouldn't beat her, in the back room for like spitting at them or something.
Then fuck this video. Then garbage. I'm just saying, like, I want to know what like real, like, what's the real. I want to know like how it is, and what would. Okay, obviously we know calling somebody a fat lesbian will get you 60 days in Swiss prison. Do you think
I wonder if he said fat lesbian whore, would he got like 90 days or something?
Do they tack on another 30 days for every insult?
30 days for every insult.
Do you think that was like the complex? Maybe he was like in the men's section of that complex.
No, he's probably eating like that, playing
Switzerland
ping
is
pong
a
and going,
country.
that stupid fat lesbian bitch.
Switzerland is like, well, how big is Switzerland? Switzerland's like the size of what, like New Mexico or something?
I don't know.
From
Hold
the
on.
distance. But up close, you can see that it's a heavily guarded prison. There are 174 inmates at the moment. 16 are serving life with the chance of parole for murder, manslaughter, or multiple rape.
That
Some
doesn't
of them
seem
are
like a
kept on
whole
the
lot.
third floor among regular offenders.
We have a deliberate policy of not putting prisoners serving life sentences in their own wing, as this would ghettoize the inmates. We think mixing.
Switzerland is about the size of Vermont and New Hampshire combined.
Okay, so that's not big at all, and neither is that prison. It's like 100. What did they say? 137 inmates.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
Inmates serving life with those serving what we call normal sentences is a good thing, as the more serious criminals don't feel too isolated.
Wait, combining them is good because they don't feel isolated.
They mean like diversifying the prison, so mixing like.
This is a single cell occupied by an inmate serving a normal prison sentence. This sort of cell could also be given to someone serving a long sentence.
During the day, the cells are only occupied at lunchtime. If the prisoners are healthy enough and are not considered too dangerous, they can work in the paint workshop. They're spraying paddles used in the traditional Swiss sport Hornissen. Even though they're behind bars, they're aware of the 20-year sentence recently handed out to Daniel H. for the murder of a 16-year-old au pair. They fear there may now be a toughening up of sentencing policy, which may affect their own cases.
Prisoners who are allowed out and those who are about to be allowed out are afraid that they may now lose their privilege. Some of the people who've been...
I don't care enough anymore.
Yeah. Fuck Swiss prison.
Yeah.
It looks like a breeze.
Yeah. Cakewalk.
It looks like a breeze. I'm sorry. Not like I know what prison's like, but fuck that shit. I didn't see nobody with a neck tattoo, not one.
No, it was like the complete opposite of what a prison should look like. It was quite disappointing. It looked more like a halfway house or a hotel, like a shitty hotel.
I've never been to prison,
Hostel.
but I'm just saying I looked at that cell, that single occupancy cell, and I saw 5 things I can make a shiv out of. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you can make a shiv out of a lot of those things.
And I saw 5 things I can make a shiv out of. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you can make a shiv out of a lot of those things. I mean, that prison was cool.
And I saw 5 things I can make a shiv out of. Season Sundays.
Yeah, you can make a shiv out of a lot of those things. I mean, that prison was cool. Disney, Wedgie,
and I saw 5 things I can make a shiv out of. Season Sundays.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of those things. That prison, I can't read.
And I saw 5 things I can make a shiv out of. Season Sundays.
It wasn't a lot of those things. The world's coming, so we're going to